Every day, about 1,500 flights go from the US to Europe, and most of them use this special route over the Atlantic Ocean. This is an invisible highway of ships in which all the ships fly back and forth at a distance of 60 kilometers from each other. Sideways, their distance is 30 kilometers, while when it comes to altitude, they are only 1,000 feet above each other, i.e. about 305 meters. You must have experienced it yourself or must have seen a video in which multiple ships are very close to each other in the sky. This is especially seen in flights from the US to Europe, in which this invisible highway is used. But the question is, when the whole sky is empty, why do pilots stay close to each other and use only this special route in extremely risky situations? In 1920, a Japanese meteorologist named Wasaburo Oishi sent several weather balloons in the sky for research purposes. He noticed that there is an invisible force in the sky at an altitude of 30,000 to 40,000 feet, which takes the balloons to the east at an extremely fast rate. The world did not pay much attention to his research, but then after 25 years, there was an incident in World War II, from which the world began to take the research of the Japanese scientist seriously. In April 1945, 6 friends went on a picnic to the American state of Oregon, where they saw a very large balloon lying in the jungle. They got excited and pulled it, but they didn't know what danger it was actually going to take. There was a bomb in that balloon, which exploded as it shook, and 6 friends lost their lives. There were many more such incidents in the US. When the investigation was carried out, it was found that these balloons were launched by Japan across the Pacific Ocean 10,000 kilometers away. Not just 2 or 4, but Japan had launched about 9,000 balloon bombs, of which 300 landed in its target, the US. Japan took advantage of Wasaburo Oishi's research and launched these balloons, which reached the US in strong winds. From then on, this tunnel of 30,000 to 40,000 feet high winds is called jet streams. For almost a whole year, these winds travel east at a maximum speed of 250 kilometers per hour. They have also been noticed in the northern hemisphere and in the southern hemisphere. They travel in the shape of a tube, which is several hundred kilometers wide and 4 kilometers thick. And surprisingly, they don't even have a fixed location. Scientists believe that these fast winds are caused by the temperature difference between the poles and the equator. When the hot air of the equator travels towards the pole, jet streams are formed. But if the air travels from the equator to the North Pole, it should go from south to north. But why do these jet streams travel from west to east? The biggest reason for this is the rotation of the Earth. Our Earth is rotating anticlockwise at a speed of about 1,600 kilometers per hour, i.e. from west to east. In the northern and southern hemispheres, these fast winds should travel towards the poles, but the rotation of the Earth is forcing them to travel from west to east. Now let's come to our main question. Why do 500 aircraft use only one path a day to travel from the US to Europe over the Atlantic Ocean? In 1952, airline pilots started paying attention to jet streams. Just as jet streams are found in the Pacific Ocean, jet streams are also present in the Atlantic Ocean during travel from the US to Europe. During travel, pilots deliberately took the aircraft into the jet stream, because the 250 km/h winds pushed the aircraft forward. This increased the speed of the aircraft, reduced turbulence, and obviously saved a lot of fuel. Similarly, if you have to go back to the US from Europe, then the pilots would use any other route but stay away from the jet stream. Because now these winds were in the opposite direction, which had a reverse effect on the aircraft. Time passed and the airline industry grew rapidly. Now all the pilots started using jet streams to go east. But the biggest problem was the increasing traffic in jet streams, which could cause accidents. The job of the air traffic controller, i.e. the ATC, was to make a route plan for flights according to the weather so that no aircraft collides with each other in the jet streams. We all know that the radars on the air traffic control tower detect the location of the aircraft. On the basis of this location, which plane will fly at what altitude and at what speed, all this can be managed by the ATC after knowing its location. But the problem is that the range of these radars is not that much. The ATC can detect the position of aircraft in a range of 128 kilometers at most. That is, suppose that the range of the New York ATC radar is only as much as this circle, whose radius is 128 kilometers. As soon as the aircraft leaves this circle, it disappears from the radar range. So now how will the ATC know the location of the aircraft? The ocean is spread over thousands of kilometers. The aircraft above it sends its position to the ATC through satellite or high radio frequency every 14 minutes. But in these 14 minutes, any accident can occur. That is why a new system was introduced in 1965. It is called the Northern Atlantic Organized Track System, or NAT-OTS. In this system, multiple route paths were made for flights to America and Europe, which are controlled by 4 main centers in the Atlantic Ocean. The first is New York Station, which controls this part. On the second number is Canada's Gander, Newfoundland, which controls this region. Santa Maria Oceanic Control controls this part and the Shenwick northern part. There are a total of 6 routes of NAT-OTS, whose names range from NAT-A to NAT-F. Before takeoff, pilots are allocated one of these routes. Or even during flight, if there is more traffic on a route, then they are shifted from one route to another route. These routes have been specially made so that the traffic is split and the aircraft going to Europe can get tailwind. Tailwind is what comes from behind the aircraft and pushes it. To make these routes more efficient, the location of the jet streams is seen twice a day with the help of weather satellites. And then the routes are optimized accordingly. As you can see on this live wind map, on the left is USA, on the right is Europe, and in the middle is the entire Atlantic Ocean. At sea level, there is a 22 km/h wind speed in the center of the Atlantic Ocean. This whole white portion that you are seeing is actually a jet stream, which is spreading from USA to Europe. 6 routes of NAT-OTS are kept inside this jet stream. So that if the location of the plane is not updated to ATS for 5 or 10 minutes, then the autopilot system of the plane can maintain its speed, altitude, and latitude according to the condition of the routes of NAT-OTS. This is why we see planes going to Europe flying only on this route. To confirm this, let's turn to the live plane tracker. Here in this part of the Atlantic Ocean, all the planes going to Europe are traveling in a line, while the returning planes can be seen far away from this jet stream. Viewers, I have tried my best to explain this concept in simple words. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.